Welcome to the Advanced Astrology faculty. I am Dr. Amara Okafor, and this is our Master Seminar, 12 Signs, 1 Psyche. Tonight we do something the Academy rarely attempts. We hold the entire zodiac, Aries to Pisces, in one hand, and the entire Jungian corpus in the other. And we ask, what if the Wheel of Signs is actually a map of individuation?
And we will be rigorous. Essential dignity, bounds, terms, decans, sect, fixed stars, the full Hellenistic toolkit. No pop astrology at this table.
And from my chair, archetype, shadow, anima, and animus, the alchemical opus, the self. The stars, properly read, are a phenomenology of the soul.
And the synthesis. Each sign is a developmental task. 12 tasks. 1 Psyche. Let us begin.
Aries, the first sign. Mars ruled, fire, cardinal, diurnal sect. In the dignity ledger, Mars is domicile in Aries, exalted in Capricorn, in detriment in Libra, in fall in Cancer. Aries is the template of the martial planet, pure, uncomplicated agency. In the terms and bounds of Ptolemy, Aries opens with the term of Jupiter, softening the blade with generosity.
In Jung, Aries is the archetype of the hero, the ego's first assertion against the unconscious. The shadow of Aries is the tyrannical will. Its gold is courage, the individuation task, to fight the right war. Mars in Aries is the libido at full charge, what Jung called the urge to power, which must be channeled into the will's true aim, or it turns on the self.
The developmental task is ignition. Aries says, you must start. Every other sign is a consequence of that first act. The Developcatemoria of Aries adds a subsignature to every degree. The first 5 degrees whisper Leo, the next 5 Sagittarius, so even in initiation, the wheel is turning.
The ram charges so the rest of us can follow. Chapter 1. The Courage to Begin.
Notice how Aries' shadow is also its gift, the same fire that burns can forge. The hero's journey begins with the refusal to remain asleep.
Taurus. Venus ruled, Earth, fixed, nocturnal sect. Venus is domicile in Taurus and Libra, exalted in Pisces. Taurus is the fixed earth, the sign of the body, the soil, the contract. In the terms of the Chaldean bounds, Taurus gives its first degrees to Venus herself, the sensual matrix at the root of the sign.
The Jungian archetype is the Earth Mother, the Great Mother in her generative aspect, and also the shadow of possession. Taurus holds, and what it holds becomes identity. Its individuation task is the paradox of embodiment. To be a body, to enjoy a body, without being reduced to one. Jung said, the shoe that fits one person pinches another. Taurus must find its own fit, not the herd's.
Developmentally, Taurus builds the foundation. Value, worth, self-esteem. Its psychology is the economics of the psyche. What you invest in becomes what you are. The Dodecatemoria add the subtones. Each degree of Taurus carries a hidden sign. The first degrees whisper Virgo's craft. The next, Capricorn's ambition.
The bull teaches us that the sacred is not only above. It is in the soil, the throat, the body.
Taurus teaches us that the body is not the prison of the soul, it is its first temple. Individuation begins in the senses.
Gemini. Mercury ruled, air, mutable, diurnal sect. Mercury is domicile in Gemini and Virgo, exalted in Virgo, in detriment in Sagittarius and Pisces. Gemini is the mutable air, the sign of the messenger, the merchant, the scribe. Its bounds are governed by Jupiter, Mercury, Saturn, Mars, Venus, a perfect circulus of the planetary mind.
The archetype is the trickster messenger, Hermes, the psychopomp who crosses all boundaries. Gemini's shadow is duplicity. Its gold is the mediating intelligence. Jung observed, thinking is difficult, that is why most people judge. Gemini is the sign that thinks. Its individuation task is to integrate the twins, to hold two truths without splitting.
The developmental task is the mind's awakening, curiosity as a spiritual practice. Gemini asks, what else could this mean? The Dodecatemoria give each degree a hidden sign. Early Gemini whispers Libra's balance. Later degrees, Aquarius's vision.
The twins remind us the psyche is a dialogue, not a monologue.
The twins are not a contradiction. They are a conversation. Gemini's genius is holding the thesis and the antithesis until a synthesis is born.
Cancer. Moon-ruled, water, cardinal, nocturnal sect. The moon is domicile in Cancer, exalted in Taurus. Cancer is the cardinal water, the tide, the womb, the homeland. In the Chaldean order, the moon is the last of the seven, the nearest, the most intimate, the threshold of the soul.
The archetype is the Great Mother in her nurturing aspect, and the shadow of the devouring mother. Cancer is the sign of the personal unconscious, the amniotic memory. Its individuation task, to separate from the mother without losing the capacity to nurture. Jung taught that the mother complex is the first container of the psyche. Cancer must learn to build its own.
Developmentally, attachment, belonging, emotional security. Cancer asks, where is home? The Dodecatemoria whisper the hidden signs in each degree. Early Cancer holds Scorpio's depth. Late Cancer, Pisces' sea.
The crab carries its home on its back. The first lesson, you are your own shelter.
The mother complex is not a flaw to be excised. It is a root to be understood. Cancer grows when it feeds others from its own fullness.
Leo. Sun-ruled, fire, fixed, diurnal sect. The sun is domicile in Leo, exalted in Aries. Leo is the fixed fire, the heart, the throne, the sovereign. Its bounds are governed by Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury. Saturn opening the royal house with discipline, Mercury closing it with wit.
The archetype is the divine child and the king, the self in its radiant aspect. Leo's shadow is the inflation of the ego. Its gold is authentic self-expression. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Leo's individuation task is exactly that, to become the sovereign of one's own psyche without becoming its tyrant.
Developmentally, recognition, creativity, the right to shine. Leo asks, what do I create? The Dodecatemoria. Early Leo whispers Aries' fire. Late Leo, Sagittarius' vision.
The lion's roar is the sound of a self that has agreed to exist.
The king who rules from the heart is the self in its sovereign aspect. Leo's task is not to dominate, but to radiate.
Virgo. Mercury-ruled, earth, mutable, nocturnal sect. Mercury is exalted in Virgo, the sign of discrimination, analysis, the perfecting craft. Virgo is the mutable earth, the field that must be sorted, the wheat separated from the chaff. In the terms, Venus holds the middle bounds of Virgo, giving the sign its grace of service.
The archetype is the maiden, Kore, the pure potential and the shadow of the perfectionist who can never accept the flawed real. This is the anima in her virginal form. Virgo's individuation task, to discriminate without condemning, to perfect without obsessing, to serve the whole, not the wound.
Developmentally, mastery, health, the discipline of detail. Virgo asks, how do I make this better? The Dodecatemoria. Early Virgo whispers Capricorn structure. Late Virgo, Taurus's patience.
The virgin with the sheaf reminds us, precision is a form of love.
Perfectionism is the shadow of the maiden. The individuated Virgo serves the whole with the humility of a craftsperson, not the tyranny of a critic.
Libra. Venus-ruled, air, cardinal, diurnal sect, and the only inanimate symbol in the zodiac. The scales, not a creature. Venus is domicile here, Saturn exalted in Libra, Mars in detriment, the Sun in fall. The cardinal air, the sign of relationship, justice, the beautiful equilibrium.
The archetype is the anima in her relational aspect and the shadow of indecision. Libra's individuation task, to find the self through the other. Jung said the encounter with the other is the encounter with the self. The scales must weigh, and weighing requires courage.
Developmentally, partnership, aesthetics, the ethics of balance. Libra asks, what is fair? The Dodecatemoria. Early Libra whispers Aquarius's vision. Late Libra, Gemini's wit.
The scales teach that harmony is not stillness. It is an ongoing act of adjustment.
Relationship is the mirror. Libra does not lose itself in the other. It finds itself there, the way the scales find their level.
Scorpio, traditional ruler Mars, modern ruler Pluto, the contested sign. Water, fixed, nocturnal sect. Mars is in domicile here in the ancient scheme. The octave of Mars, Pluto, rules in the modern. Scorpio is the fixed water, the deep, the crypt, the crucible. Its bounds are Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, Mercury, the martial opening, the mercurial close.
The archetype is the shadow in its most powerful form, the alchemical nigredo, the blackening. Scorpio's individuation task is the descent, to meet the shadow, to die to the false self, to rise transformed. Jung taught, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious.
Developmentally, transformation, intimacy, the management of power. The Dodecatemoria. Early Scorpio whispers Cancer's depth. Late Scorpio, Pisces' transcendence.
The phoenix is not a fantasy. It is a protocol. Burn, and be remade.
The nigredo is not the end, it is the beginning of the opus. What dies in Scorpio's crypt is the false self. What rises is the self.
Sagittarius, Jupiter ruled, fire, mutable, diurnal sect. Jupiter is domicile in Sagittarius and Pisces, exalted in Cancer. Sagittarius is the mutable fire, the arrow, the quest, the horizon. Its bounds. Jupiter opens, Mars closes, the teacher who begins with faith and ends with fire.
The archetype is the seeker, the wise old man in his questing aspect. Sagittarius's shadow is dogmatism, the arrow that becomes a weapon. Its gold is meaning itself. The individuation task, to aim the bow of intention at the true target, the self, and to keep the quest alive without letting certainty kill wonder.
Developmentally, philosophy, belief, the search for truth. Sagittarius asks, what do I believe? The Dodecatemoria. Early Sagittarius whispers Leo's fire. Late Sagittarius, Aries' courage.
The centaur aims at the stars, because the stars are where meaning lives.
The arrow must leave the bow. Sagittarius' wisdom is that truth is a horizon. You approach it forever, and the approach is the meaning.
Capricorn, Saturn ruled, Earth, cardinal, nocturnal sect. Saturn is domicile in Capricorn and Aquarius, exalted in Libra. Capricorn is the cardinal Earth, the summit, the citadel, the long climb. Mars is exalted here, giving the sign its iron discipline. The moon is in detriment, the private cost of public mastery.
The archetype is the father, the senex, the old king, and the shadow of the tyrannical superego. Capricorn's individuation task, to build the tower of the self upon the rock of reality, to accept time, limitation, and legacy. Jung said the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. For Capricorn, that privilege is earned in decades.
Developmentally, structure, ambition, the mastery of time. Capricorn asks, what will I build that outlasts me? The Dodecatemoria. Early Capricorn whispers Taurus's endurance. Late Capricorn, Virgo's craft.
The sea goat climbs, not to escape the sea, but to see it whole.
Saturn is the lord of time, and Capricorn is its student. To individuate is to accept the long game. The tower built over decades stands for centuries.
Aquarius. Traditional ruler Saturn, modern ruler Uranus, the second contested sign. Air, fixed, diurnal sect. Saturn is domicile here in the ancient scheme, Uranus rules in the modern. Aquarius is the fixed air, the constellation, the collective, the one who pours the water of the heavens for all.
The archetype is the collective unconscious itself made sign, the archetype of the community, the genius. Aquarius's shadow is alienation, the eccentric who forgets he is human. Its goal is vision, the individuation task, to individuate, not into isolation, but into service. Jung said the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed.
Developmentally, belonging, innovation, the future. Aquarius asks, what do we become together? The Dodecatemoria. Early Aquarius whispers Gemini's curiosity. Late Aquarius, Libra's justice.
The water bearer pours the stars into the river. The individual made useful to the whole.
The future is not a place. It is a collective act of imagination. Aquarius reminds us that no one individuates alone.
Pisces. Jupiter ruled traditionally, Neptune in the modern, the third and final contested sign. Water, mutable, nocturnal sect. Jupiter is domicile here, Venus exalted in Pisces, Mercury in detriment. Pisces is the mutable water, the ocean, the veil, the return. Its bounds: Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, ending with Saturn, the completion of all things.
The archetype is the mystic, the self in its oceanic aspect, and the shadow of dissolution. The addiction, the loss of boundaries. Pisces' individuation task: to touch the one without drowning in it, to return from the ocean with the pearl. Jung said, who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. Pisces is the sign that looks inside.
Developmentally, compassion, imagination, surrender. Pisces asks, what is beyond me? The Dodecatemoria. Early Pisces whispers Cancer's tenderness. Late Pisces, Scorpio's depth.
The two fish swim in opposite directions, and the cord that binds them is the soul.
The mystic returns from the ocean with the pearl of compassion. Pisces completes the wheel, and the wheel begins again, deeper.
We have walked the entire wheel. Now let us hold it whole. 12 signs, 4 elements, 3 modalities, 1 mandala.
The traditional framework gives us the grammar, dignity and debility, sect and bounds, decans and dodecatemoria. That grammar is not decoration. It is how the ancients encoded the precise physics of meaning. The elements: fire ignites, earth grounds, air connects, water transforms. The modalities: cardinal initiates, fixed sustains, mutable adapts.
The Jungian framework gives us the psychology: the hero, the mother, the trickster, the child, the king, the maiden, the lover, the shadow, the seeker, the father, the genius, the mystic, 12 faces of oneself. Jung's quaternity, the mandala, is the symbol of the integrated self, and the zodiac is the largest mandala the West has ever drawn.
And the synthesis is this: the zodiac is a developmental curriculum. Aries teaches initiation, Taurus embodiment, Gemini thought, Cancer attachment, Leo expression, Virgo mastery, Libra relationship, Scorpio transformation, Sagittarius meaning, Capricorn structure, Aquarius community, Pisces transcendence. Each sign is a stage in the individuation process, the ego's journey from the first spark of will to the final ocean of the self.
The zodiac, read this way, is not a personality test. It is an alchemical recipe. The Negredo of Scorpio, the albedo of the moon's purification in Cancer and Virgo, the Citronitas of Leo's gold, the rubido of Aries and Sagittarius's fire. 12 operations, 1 opus.
And the fixed stars are the witnesses. Regulus crowns the king, Algol tests the Medusa, Spica blesses the harvest. The ancients knew, The chart is a map of character, and character is destiny. So the final synthesis, the original method we offer tonight, is the 12-gate protocol. Begin at the ascendant, walk the wheel sign by sign, and at each gate apply the 3 lenses: the traditional lens of dignity and time, the Jungian lens of archetype and shadow, and the psychological lens of developmental task. 12 gates, 1 psyche.
As Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." The zodiac is the map, the psyche is the territory, and the journey is everything. Thank you for joining the faculty. This has been 12 Signs, 1 Psyche. Until the next seminar, keep looking up and keep looking in. The zodiac is the self's autobiography, written in light. Read it with reverence, and it will read you back.